So we're going to do on the broken masculine. And it's interesting because we've been looking to start a men's group, and we did actually start a men's group, and it was good. And the men's group had women holding sacred space because it was to launch it, you know? And the interesting part is that when I'm starting to realize, just like I'm starting to realize a lot of things about our human condition and why we're in the shit show we're in, is the egoic framework of how people want things packaged. I've been a man many, many times, and I remember those incarnations. I keep saying that for a reason. I've been a good man and a bastard. I've done horrible things also as women, but also good things. So this group that we've started for men is to give the sacred masculine, the wounded masculine, the broken masculine, the ability to actually express their hearts. The concept is to thank you, hi Jen, hi Andromeda, Flame, Veil. So this concept of the masculine wanting everything perfectly packaged is ridiculous. It's ridiculous because the whole point of the wounded masculine, broken masculine is they're not talking. They're not even talking to anyone. They're not surrounding themselves with starseed masculines, or else they would need a men's group. They would have one. They would have their buddies who are on the same platform of consciousness. But they've been hijacked. And one of my buddies, starseed fellows, has said the solar plexus. But I'm going to disagree. It's the root chakra. It's all sexual. They're hijacked sexually. They're hijacked in their fears. They're hijacked in their anger. They're hijacked in not feeling safe and abandoned. It's to me, it's all root chakra. And men don't like women to tell them anything. They don't like mommy telling them anything. They don't like their lovers telling them anything. They don't like their twin flames telling them anything. And again, I'm referring to the broken, wounded masculine. Okay? And it's funny how Yeshua would listen to Mary. And Yeshua and Mary Magdalene would have conversations. Because there was a respect in the yin to the yang. There's a balance of the feminine energy and the masculine energy. And it must, and honestly, many of us need to understand that as women. If you're angry at men, yeah, you need to stop that shit. And why am I saying that? Because I've been that woman. I was a young woman when I was pulling that kind of anger towards men shit. I had issues with my father. I had issues with the masculine in general, the broken masculine in general. And I had never really met a good man, to be honest. Okay? But when I did, when you meet a good man, don't treat them like shit because you're angry at the masculine. But here's the problem. So now we have a masculine that's in a twin flame connection. And the whole point is to start groups with the masculine so they can talk to each other in real, honest, fucking snotty nose, crying, releasing, purging ways. So that they can actually come out transformed on the other side. And I'm proud to say that I know a group of starseed high priestesses and a couple high priests who was holding sacred space for the men's group until we could get more men to take on the reins. And no one wanted to take the reins because many of our wounded divine masculines aren't ready to go there. Because I don't know if you've ever lost someone, if you've ever lost someone you loved, and you realize that if you started crying, it may never end. I don't know if you've ever had that fear, that if you start crying at this, it will never fucking end. And that pain gets crystallized in that moment. And then, boom, you're really wondering if you'll ever come out of the fetal position. And so it's very possible, I'm again, I'm a woman with all the hormones, the brain hormones, all the hormones that go with it, the biology, the brain, the hormones affected by all that shit. I'm constantly trying to breach through that bullshit because it's all 3D matrix crap. And I'm always trying to get to my highest self. I'm being honest with you. It's a fucking struggle. Okay, I get it. However, with that said, if you're self-aware of your bullshit, then you're more likely to breach through it with some level of ease. If you're fully aware of that's the problem you're fighting with. And the masculine, the broken masculine, the wounded masculine is not aware of this. They're still playing this swaggering energy of I'm divine masculine. No, you're fucking not. You're fucking not a divine masculine. If you can't sit down and get real about your emotions, you're not. There's nothing divine about you. You earned that divinity through the baptism of fire. You earned that shit. Okay? And if you can't actually go through this process of looking at your little boy and the woundedness of that little boy, if you're not willing to go and grab and save that little boy that you were, that wasn't being saved or protected, if you don't want to go to the very beginning of the nucleus of your pain in this incarnation and go beyond that, then you're no divine masculine. There's nothing divine about you. You're a broken, wounded man, period. That's it. And you got to be real about your sexuality. You got to be real about what you're doing with that sacred thing called sexuality. And women are more willing to look at that than men. Men get very, very, defensive. But I'm going to tell you something about men. Men have many, many levels that are very, very intricate. Men are actually more intricate than women in some aspects because of the multi-layers of their sexuality and what they hide in their shadows, instead of being real about it. When I was doing sacred circles with women, I can't tell you how many, all my women, and many of my would say, yeah, I think my person's bisexual, and hiding it. Who gives a shit if you're this, that, and the other? And that's what is happening with the sacred, broken, wounded, masculine, is they won't get real about even the basics of their root chakra story. And that's the problem. And there's multiple aspects about conquering, which is an affect of the masculine, in conquering, in almost an obsession with suppressing. And so when the broken masculine, wounded masculine wants to do that work, then they rise out of it to become a divine masculine. There's no doubt about it. So not crying is not crying. Well, this is why women are having heart attacks like crazy, because women don't cry like they used to. They think it's a flex not to cry. So imagine, now you know why women now have heart attacks almost to the same level as men. So ultimately, what can we do? This is not a male bashing live, by the way, not at all. This is I'm putting you guys on notice. You men out there, you want to heal? You want to be a twin flame journey? You want to actually do this? Yeah, go form yourself a men's group and get real about it. Don't bullshit. Let's talk about the sports team and, hey, did you see that NFL? No bullshit. Fucking get down in the weeds. Stop the bullshit, because we're doing the work. And I'm going to call us divine feminines. We're doing the work. And many of us are wounded divine feminines, broken divine feminines. Why are we divine feminines? Because we're aware of all that shit. We're aware of our shadows. That's why we're still divine, though we're broken and wounded. And there are men who are divine masculines who are aware of their brokenness and their woundedness. That's why they're still divine masculines. But you're going to do a men's group? Get real. Get real about how ugly it can get in there, in the shadows. Get real about how codependent you are and how you don't want to be codependent. Get real about how you would prefer being with a type of woman that looks a certain way. Be real about it and then deconstruct it. Be real about your shit. Be real about maybe that you are bisexual. Be real about the fact that you've thought about it, but you'll never do it. It's okay to have bisexual desires and never experience it, never do it, saying in this life, I don't want to do it. That's not my thing. So that's what you need to understand as a broken man. Okay, you want to be a fucking warrior? You want to be a shaman? Get off your ass and get real. and only talk to men who are real. Small talk is off. I don't hang out with Barbies. You know why? Because I don't want to talk about that Barbie shit. I'm here to talk about real things. So don't go with your Ken friends, your little G.I. Joe buddies. Go with real masculines, real high priests and warriors and shamans and poets and philosophers. Go with men like that. Go find them. If you don't have one, go get one. Get some kahunas. Go do it. That's enough already with, I'm going to run. I just want a men's club. You want a men's club? You don't have you want a real men's club? You want to go golfing? Then that's the men's club you want? Then go do that. You want a real club? A real circle? Because it's not a club, it's a circle. It's a circle of wisdom. It's a circle of pain. It's a circle of tears. It's a circle of baptism by fire. That's what it is. Exactly. That's right, divine feminine. We know it's hard. We go through it anyway. Ignore it. So that is what we're having to that is what we're having to do, my friends. And I've been, like I said before, I've been a man before, I've been a warrior. I actually remember those past lives. I'm not saying it just to say it. I actually remember these incarnations, okay? So, and now I know why. Now I know why. We walk and the talk, we walk the talk, exactly. Ken energy, yeah. So do you have any questions or comments? If you are a man right now and you're going through the journey as a warrior, as a shaman, a shamanic warrior, please step up and say something. Say something so that we as the divine feminine who are wounded and broken, many of us, don't have to fucking feel like this is absolutely for nothing. You know what I mean? Because if you actually feel that you're doing all the work and you're still, I'm just going to put it out there, okay? There are OnlyFans girls making $350,000 per month. Per month. There are a lot of broken, lonely men out there. Andrew Tate said it. I'll give him that. He knows the masculine condition, and he went out and made money off it. Again, root chakra, my friends, go do your work, okay? Because why is it that there are girls that look no better than a girl working at whatever, is making $350 a month, $350,000 per month? I don't know how many women are investing in OnlyFans. I'm sure there are a lot. Believe me, I'm not stupid. I know there's a crowd of cougars and whatever, okay? Whatever you want to call them. Broken women. But I'm going to tell you one thing. There's more men doing that than there are women. I guarantee it. Because women are nurturers for the most part. And when a man is a nurturer, he is actually shamed by other broken masculines. If a man is seen with an apron, cooking dinner and holding a baby on his hip, and yet he is a total shamanic warrior, he is laughed at by other men. And some women, let's get real. Okay? If a man cries, there are women who will laugh and mock the man. Okay? There are different types of men, women. There's the alpha male, the beta male. And if you're not into beta males, leave them the fuck alone. Don't go breaking beta males because you want an alpha. Go get yourself an alpha. It's a whole different, it's the difference between connecting with a hawk who will never really land on your glove. Okay, that's an alpha male. And a horse or you know what I mean? Who you can tame at some point and saddle up. They're different energies. Know what you need and be honest. Don't just settle and then punish the man. See, there's a lot of dynamics about why men don't feel safe with women and women don't feel safe with men. You got to be honest. If you want an alpha male, go get one. Don't say yes to a beta male ever. And you can tell a beta male within seconds. I'm sorry. It's even the way they walk, okay? It's the way there's a body language to everybody's power. And when a person is powerful, whether she is a female who is an alpha or an alpha male, you can tell. It's not hard to figure out. You know what I mean? You've got archetypes, for Christ's sakes. So I'm seeing a lot of people hurting other people because they want something they're not getting from their partner and they're punishing their partner for it. That's not fair and that's not okay. And so you have to kind of get real about that as well as the feminine and as the masculine. If you don't settle, it's better to be single and celibate than to settle and then get angry at the person who adores you more than you adore them. Ultimately, The masculine has to want to heal. And he has to want to heal so badly that he doesn't care who's there. When I wanted to heal and I was hell bent on completely, I'm going to call it blowing out the way I thought about everything, blowing out my 3D brain, you know what I'm saying? And I sought out my shaman and the medicine, the plant medicine, with a ferocity that would shock you. I sold everything I had. I was hell bent on healing, hell bent. No matter what it took, I would do it. I would either heal and come out the other side transformed, or I would not, survive it. That's what you men need to be able to do. You need to go out there and go in the woods, maybe with a good buddy, and do some psilocybin, something. I mean, fucking do something. Do something. But get real about the fact that you want your men's circle and only men. Yes, of course you want that. But if your guys are all going to sit around mute and just kicking rocks and saying nothing, that's why you may want to do a circle where there's a strong female high priestess that gives you a beginning of the dialoguing, and then of course she fades into the background, never to be seen again. You might want to even make the effort of writing down some serious high level spiritual and sexual and dialogue about the feminine in talking points and hashing those out. Your relationship with your mother, your relationship with a sister, your relationship with your first lover, your relationship even with being abused. Maybe your first time wasn't consensual. Even that. And that needs to be put on the table. And see, the difference between being the divine, even wounded and broken feminine, is that we're willing to do it because we are so tired of not finding the peace in our hearts, in our souls, that we're willing to literally tear down all the curtains, all the veils, everything to get to it. And very few masculines are. They just want to either rock in the pain of being in separation with a twin, which unfortunately is a problem with the feminine on some levels. But when the feminine comes out of the dark night of their soul, she comes out a fighting warrior, fighting for her life, fighting for something better. And the dark night of the soul for a masculine should transcend into the same, where you'll do whatever it takes, and be so highly aware that you've been a woman before, many, many incarnations. You've given birth, you've died at childbirth, you've died in many ways as a female. And you have to honor those incarnations within you, or else you're not going to make it. You're not going to heal, and you will not be in union with your divine eternal consorts. You will not. It will not happen in this incarnation. So instead of running to your tried and true distractions, a bimbo here, a bar hopping there, a partying with the guys there, just going crazy on the Netflix, or spending a whole day watching Sunday Night Football, or being alone and just drinking or doing drugs. You're not doing medicine, you're doing drugs. Okay, there's a difference. And if that's your tried and true, and suddenly hang out with your friends and doing ecstasy or coke or LSD or at a party, you know what I mean? Like with a whole bunch of people just to distract yourself from the pain. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay? You need to be strategic. You need to be shamanic. You need to respect yourself, for Christ's sake. What are you doing to your body? What are you doing to your mind? And all you do is you're looping yourself right back like a hamster wheel, right back to the starting point. You have gone nowhere. You have accomplished nothing. You have distracted yourself from your pain through all these old antics, these shenanigans that may have worked when you were in your 20s and no longer work. And you're shocked. You've got the audacity to be shocked. When your soul knows and your soul's crying out, but you're so busy bearing your soul with your desires, your base desires on the egoic platform of your desires, that you've forgotten who you are as a pure soul, which is an androgynous soul. In the end of it, we're not divine masculine or feminine. We're divine light. We're multidimensional light beings. At the end of it all, at the truth, at the nucleus of our truth, that's where it is. So if you can't sit in sacred circle with a woman with a womb that weeps for you, holds sacred space for you, has given birth to the masculine. That's why I came back as a woman, because I wanted to feel all these hormonal aspects in my brain, in my womb, in all of that. And you should be damn lucky in your next incarnation you'll come back as a woman. And I'll be damn lucky when I come back as a masculine with a new transcendent state of high awareness of the balance between the feminine and the masculine within me. Being an alpha female in this incarnation, I hope to God that I never forget this journey in this incarnation. So when I come back as a masculine on any planet, in any dimension, in any level, that I embody and I walk with the power of both the masculine and the divine feminine and the divine masculine within me. And that's the journey. So if you can't sit in sacred circle with women who are there, who want you to win, because if you win, that means they have hope that their own twin flame who's in darkness will also awaken. If you awaken, it's like the 100 monkey theory. They're pretty hopeful that you're going to actually wake up. Part of the reason why we want to hold sacred space for you is, for all we know, the lineage, the bloodline you embody, we are your ancestors. Do you guys ever think beyond just what you see right now at this moment? Let your mind trip over every distance that's set up by the 3D brain and go beyond it. Do you know that sometimes I sit across from people and I feel it, that I am their ancestor. They embody a lineage and their bloodline runs through their veins that I once actually lived. That's what is unity, is a realization of that. And then sexuality, sex, gender, homosexuality, bisexuality, heterosexuality, all of that falls away. None of it matters. But as we sit across from the masculine, as the divine, broken, wounded, because many of us are wounded and still broken, we're divine. Do you know why? Again, let me repeat myself, because we're fucking aware of it. And we know what we're working on. And we're trying to grab these butterflies of pain in the sky. And sometimes we have to sit still. And so when you give us the opportunity to sit in sacred circle to your pain as the broken divine masculine or wounded masculine, you give us a great gift. And now you're refusing it because you're ashamed of your darkness. And you don't think we're aware of your darkness. You don't think we know your darkness. We're fully aware of it. We want to be a witness so that you can see it within yourself with your own eyes, with forgiveness and transmutational power. And you're literally preventing us from actually witnessing your awakening. Yes, of course, have your men's circles. God bless you. Please do it ASAP. But you know what? Very few of you are doing it. Very few. I've yet to hear any of my masculine clients tell me, yeah, I have a circle. No, I'm not hearing it. I'm not seeing it. And the circles are clubs. They're not circles, meaning they're not in that same philosophy that is going to bring about massive transcendental healing. And it's going to, this kind of circle, which in the beginning forms as a co-ed and falls into a men's circle and women's circle, and then back to co-ed again, and back again separation, and back into co-creating again together, is critical to the twin flame journey so that we can transcend into twin rays, my friends. And that's what you need to understand as a broken divine masculine or broken wounded masculine, meaning you're so fucking not aware of yourself. You don't even know, you're bumping into walls, spiritual walls. You're just bumping into walls. You're getting nowhere. I'm not here to shame you, but I'm not going to, coddle you either. You need to grow up. You need to stand and go save that little boy that you've ignored, who's filled with shame. You need to go get off your butt and go save that little boy. Get him out of the closet and pull him out and hug him and tell him that it's okay. And now you're not going to lie to him or to yourself anymore. And that's what the divine, broken and wounded feminine is doing in massive, massive numbers. Why? Because we have the nurturing gene in us. This is why many of us incarnated as women, to repeat myself. Because of that hormonal, nurturing genome that we have in our brain structure, wherever it lies. because we needed it. Also, we're star seeds. We've been in planets where it was 80% mind and 20% heart, and vice versa. And we're trying to find the balance. And we're also trying to find lineage healing. And we're also trying to find immediate healing for our own traumas as women. We're also trying to find healing in our past lives as masculines. Okay? And I could share stories of my past lives as a masculine, but this is not today to prove to you what I know. I'm not here to prove to you anything. You're not here to prove to me anything. You're here to step into your light and stop your bullshit. And you're here to be actually radically honest with yourself in all your darkness, just like we've had to do and how we continue to do it. Okay? Many of you are running from your divine feminine, broken feminine, wounded feminine, and you're running into darkness, more looping, more bullshit. And you're doing it because it's what you know. It's a habit. It's like a somatic habit. It's like an alcoholic who's been dry for a year and got the shopping cart at Safeway, the supermarket, and somehow the body brings him in front of the liquor section. And she has to now make a decision of whether they're going to let their somatic memory of habits, of toxic habits, grab a bottle or take that shopping cart out of that area into the fruit and vegetable section. You have to stop looping into your habits. You have to stop and sit there and maybe have a nervous breakdown in the fucking aisles of your own fears of really realizing the absolute habits that have kept you jailed in loops. Maybe that's what you need, to literally sit there and start sobbing. You're driving and you start sobbing and you have to pull over because it just shakes your whole body. You can't even hold the steering wheel. That's what you need. That kind of transformational, immediate healing and shaking of the calcifications and the barnacles that have kept you hostages for centuries, for incarnations, not just as a man, but as a woman. That's the work we're doing. So if you want to join our circle, okay, if you have the courage to go deep and I mean all the way down to the marrow of your pain, then we're your huckleberries. We got you. We're here. We'll always be here. But our goals as star seeds, Andromeda, Jen, Rachel, Tony, all of us as a group, we want you to win, and we want you to create your own community, your own circles in your neck of the woods. Because there's nothing like shaking hands and hugging and patting someone on the shoulders. There's nothing like looking into the tear-stained face of another person, breaking open into the dawning of their new self. There's nothing like it. There's no Zoom that can ever give you that. So ultimately, that's what we're hoping to create. We're hoping to help you co-create that. But as a man, right? And if you're a man listening to me right now, I need you to get off your ass and stop being afraid of your own shadows and afraid to expose your shadows. We know your shadows. We're not stupid. We know your shadows. And men's shadows can be much more intricate in the catacombs of their own minds because they've had to stuff them into different compartments. And we're okay with witnessing your shadows. And maybe what you might think are stupid questions. But for the masculine, this is going to be a tough ride. Because you've never been taught to nurture yourself to that level of depth and honesty. And you've always been told to just man up. And you've always been basically, shamed of tears. And maybe even shamed of not pleasing someone in bed. Or maybe God knows the levels of shame you've gone through. Believe me, I'm fully aware of it. Women have shame too. They're different shames. And yet they're similar because shame is shame. So if you want to be the kind of man who is finding your broken parts and you've been carrying them in a backpack on your shoulders and it weighs heavy and you're tired and you see no point in continuing this incarnation, then we've created this actual group so that men like you aren't lost in the fray, in the fracas of all the chaos going on the planet. We know how hard it is to find value in your life, and we know how hard it is to find a sense of purpose And we're here to help you get it. So if you're honest about healing, if you really want to heal, that's the kind of shit you're going to have to excavate. And we're here to help you. We're here to bear witness. We're here to applaud you. We're here to cheer for you. We're here to have you literally melt away from this incredible toxic demeanor, this swaggering demeanor that you've had to hold up, this emperor energy of stoicness. I don't know why stoicness is being applauded. There's stoicness for certain reasons. You know when you use stoicness? When you're in places like Gaza, when you're in places like the Sudan, when there's a war going on, yeah, all of us need to be stoked. The feminine and the masculine need to be stoked. That's when that's important, because we can't fall apart. This is not the time. Survival is the uppermost importance. But now, right now, if you're safe in this time, you're in your living room or in your house or in your car and you're safe and you know you're safe, yeah, this is not the time to be stoic. This is the time to get real. And this will forge you into a better man and a better woman. So let me read some of the comments, because as you know, I never look down until I'm done. Dark Night of the Soul is his finest. Okay. We know it's hard, but we walk through it anyway. Okay. What if a divine masculine who is in union with their twin leads the men's group? It's good. Something about your voice is so familiar and comfortable to me. Oh, good, Brian. I'll take any advice you got. Well, the advice is step in. I'm up in 5 hours for work. This is such an important message. Thank you. I'm sorry, sweetie. You got to go to bed. You can be anonymous if you need. We don't show our faces. Exactly. In the Zooms that we do, none of us show our faces. Okay, none of us. It's all Zoom audio only. It's not recorded. Anything you say, it's like anything you say stays in Las Vegas. We don't say shit. And ultimately, we want the men's group to break away and have their own Zoom group, right? That's our goal. That's what we want, ultimately. But we need the divine, broken, wounded masculine to trust us, who are also wounded and broken, and we're building ourselves up, and we're hyper aware of it. Okay? We're not going to discount what you have to say. The levels, I wish I could share some of the shit I've heard from men. I can tell you a story. I'm going to tell you this story of how men are taught to reconfigure trauma. My godfather, Nick, I'm not going to say his last name, Nick, was born in 1900s in Arizona, from a very big northern Italian family. When I met him, he was like a gorgeous man, eagle blue eyes and black hair and 6'4". He was just a beautiful man, dressed beautifully. He was Italian, if you know what I'm saying. And but I remember him telling me, he was my godfather, telling me his first sexual experience, and he said, and he was way underage. I want to cry when I say that. Way underage. And he said, it was my babysitter, and I thought it was a girl. It was. And then her BF. And I fucking was crying on the phone. And I was very young then. I was like 32, 33. I was too young to know the words to give him. Within that year, he died. He was an elderly gentleman by the time he told me that story. And even as he told me, he didn't realize what he had just told me, that his first experience had been traumatic. And he was way underage, okay? But he had presented it to me like a flex. Does that make sense? And that was the first experience I had of that kind of trauma. And then I went down the rabbit hole. And then I started really understanding what was happening to the masculines out there as I got further and further into studying and reading all kinds of short stories and fictions that weren't fictions, if you know what I mean, because it was hidden, and actual stories of men and so forth. And I started realizing that the feminine was so self-aware of her own injustices to her body and to herself and her autonomy. but she had forgotten that the masculine was also going through that journey in some capacity. And the feminine was so hyper focused on her pain, it didn't even occur to her that the masculine was going through something similar, and in some cases maybe even worse, because of the shaming that goes with it. Okay, it's not something you admit. So ultimately, what I want to say to you is that we know, we fucking know, and you don't have to hide it from us. You need to just be real, and you need to just step in, and you will be circled by love, both from the masculine, because we have wonderful men who are very much in their divine masculine energy, though they are wounded or broken and healing their broken selves, but they are divine because they're self-aware of what needs to be healed. That's why they're divine masculines. And they are nurturing, and they are loving. And if you need to break away to have a conversation with just one of those divine masculines, we will totally get off the call, or we will continue our call and you will continue yours with the divine masculine, one or two of them that breaks away to offer sacred circle as you release your pain. Do you understand me? We're here to win. We want to win. We're here to win. The 1% does not want us to win. And the divide and conquer has gone from gender fighting to blue eyes and brown eyes. Jane Elliott, Andromeda told me, reminded me it was Jane Elliott that came up with these teaching lessons on racism and prejudice and divide and conquer. And when the divide and conquer is done with the sacred masculine, it has been hijacked through the root chakra. Let me tell you, this is why we have OnlyFans girls making $350,000 per month, and they have no idea what to do with that money. This is why Andrew Tate, who I honestly have a neutral opinion about. I really don't care if you guys don't like him or if you like him. I don't care. What matters is this. One of the greatest things he's ever said is that he realizes how very, very, very lonely and bereft the masculine is. Okay? And that's why they're hijacked in the root chakra by many, many camps. Hugh Hefner being, I detest Hugh Hefner. I detest him. If you've ever seen his shows with the four young girls, all under 22, all blonde, all the same, one of them finally came out saying how traumatic it was. Now you might say, well, she deserved it because, she shouldn't have been there. It was her choice. No, some girls honestly are raised in such a way, they don't know anything else to do but to do that. They don't know anything else. They've been taught nothing else. Okay? So let's not judge women who do that. Okay? That's not because they dreamed of doing that. It's they fell into a situation that brought them to making those kinds of ultimate choices that broke them even further. Okay, I'm not here to bully people, to judge them. Let him who has no sin cast the first stone. Yeah, let's all drop our rocks, okay? Because none of us have a word to say about shit like that. But let's be there for the divine masculine who is wounded and broken and trying to find his way home to his own heart space. And once he finds his way to his own heart space, then he can find his way into your arms. And so if you're a broken feminine, be honest about that. Stop rating the masculines. Stop being angry with your father or mother for that. Try to heal that. Because as long as that anger is part of the way you treat your divine counterparts, masculine, feminine, whatever, if that's the way you're handling your business, you're barking up the wrong tree. You're barking up the tree of ignorance, not the tree of knowledge. Okay? All right, listen, I got to get ready for a couple readings I have for clients today. I hope this helped. If anyone has anything to share, please let me know. I will share this live on YouTube. And as usual, we have a very small amount of people who actually came onto this live. And again, it's not an insult. It just shows me where people's heads are at on the twin flame journey. And again, that saddens me because they're not getting the full, they're not getting it. Does anybody have anything to say? Thank you. This was very informative and helpful. Good. Thank you, Letty. Anyone else want to share anything on what I've said so far? Does anything resonate? I hope we see new masculines, divine, broken, wounded, to come into our Discord. I hope you join. And I hope you join our healing community, because we're here to win. We don't want you to be bereft. We don't want you to be lost, okay? Anyone else have anything to share? Thank you, Debbie, for being here. So I will upload it. Please share it with your divine masculine. I'm not kidding. Share it. You know what? Fuck this. Just share it. Okay? They're either going to listen or they don't. It's that simple. You can't make them listen. You can't force them. But maybe they will listen. And maybe they'll listen to some sense. You never know. But if I were you, I would totally share that also with your feminine group, because there are too many women who are so resentful of the masculine that it's not working. Clearly, because here we are. Thank you so much, Rachel. I appreciate you. Okay, well, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate your support. Again, I will have the live up on my YouTube channel, which is on my profile page, which is on my Linktree. You can scroll all the way down. It will have my YouTube channel linked, or you can go on Sacred Intimacy Tarot on YouTube and you'll find me. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for your time. Namaste. Be well.